But the story that we are breaking at this moment, more concerns about flying in the air because a photo of a broken window on a SpiceJet flight has gone viral a short while ago. The SpiceJet is now responding, saying it was only a non-structural part of the window that came loose and there was no impact on passenger safety. SpiceJet has also claimed that the cabin pressure remained normal during the flight that was from Goa to Pune. SpiceJet saying the window frame was fixed soon after landing. But again, the backdrop of all that has been happening in recent months, again a scare that has come in the air. Amit Bhardwaj, who tracks the Civil Aviation Ministry for us, joins us. Amit, on the backdrop of what happened with an Indigo flight to Srinagar in the month of May, when the nose of the flight came out as the flight hit a hailstorm. Then what we, of course, the tragedy of AI 171, this of course nowhere compares to any of that. But clearly there is growing concern over whether standards are being maintained by some airlines.
Certainly right, Rajdeep. In the past, as you mentioned, whether it be the Indigo Srinagar flight, the nose being damaged, AI 171 crash, and even after that, during the several of the inspections that are being carried out by the DGCA and the concerned authorities, several of compliance violations have been noted by the agencies with several other airlines. And every time the name of the operator changes, but the compliance violations do come out in the light, or instance of this sort which creates mid-air scare for the passengers. So this was Rajdeep, a Goa-Pune flight that had taken off from Goa, and it was right in the middle of that the flight that passengers noticed this particular window frame popped out. However, the SpiceJet is clarifying that this was cosmetic frame meant to bring shade on the plane, and the Q400 aircraft model, which this particular flight was, it has several layers of window pane with an external window pane, which is there to ensure that despite several malfunctions within, the pressure does not enter the craft and the passenger safety is not compromised. SpiceJet is clarifying it was cosmetic part window frame that has popped out and was quickly fixed upon landing. Back to you.
Okay, Amit Bhardwaj joining us there, in a way settling any scares and alarm that viral video has set off there, with those images of the window being seen, the structures being seen to come out. Thank you very much. Okay, let me turn from another story that's been building up over the last few days, because with every day the death toll in Telangana's explosion in a chemical factory is going up. At almost 40 people are now dead. The fire in Sangareddy has exposed a chilling web of legal loopholes and official apathy. A factory with no fire clearance was functioning for years. 40 lives were lost to this shocking negligence. Several more are grievously injured. In a moment, I'll be joined by the minister in charge. But first, take a look at this report.
In what can be called a man-made tragedy, 40 lives were wiped out in a fire at the Sigachi Pharma Chemical Factory in Telangana's Sangareddy. A tragedy not born of fate, but of apathy, loopholes.
The whole concrete structure and the industrial equipment, everything is smashed into pieces, and this debris that you see is completely burnt for hours, and now the whole debris is being removed and people are being identified. Several of them whose body parts are missing, their DNA samples are being taken, and also the family members' DNA samples are collected and matched so that the missing persons are identified.
The factory ran without a fire NOC, without a safety audit, and without accountability. And the excuse? A legal blind spot. Fire DG Nagi Reddy chillingly admitted no clearance was needed, so none was taken.
We have not taken any NOC, so this building does not come under the purview of Section 13 of the Fire Act,
Okay.
where NOC is required.
Okay.
So that is why many such buildings do not take permission from the fire department.
Okay.
Basically, they have to keep the fire safety systems as per the requirement of that industry.
A factory built in 1989 with patchy extinguishers and no fire safety record became a death trap for workers who never stood a chance. Today, 40 families are grieving and demanding justice, whereas many still remain missing.
पूरा 3 बजे चला ऐसा इधर ब्लास्ट हुआ बोल के तो जब भी मेरे पापा आए बोल रहे अभी हॉस्पिटल शिफ्ट कर रहे हॉस्पिटल पूरा ढूंढे तो भी नहीं दिख रहे सब मेरे मामा सब मेरे आंटी सब ढूंढ रहे सब हॉस्पिटल मगर किधर भी नहीं पाते 20 इयर्स का था
9:25 को ऐसा ब्लास्ट हो गया हमारे को 3:30 को मालूम हो गया सुबह में हमारे को नहीं मालूम था उन्हें ड्यूटी आके करा नहीं करा वो ज्वाइन किया नहीं किया नहीं मालूम हो रहा है फोन तो इधर गेट के पास मिल गया हमारे को
If no permission was needed and none was taken, who will take responsibility for these 40 lives? With Abdul Bashir in Sangareddy, Bureau Report, India Today.
And that's precisely the question I want to ask my next guest. G. Vivek Venkataswamy is Minister of Labour, Employment, Training, Factories, Mines, Geology, Telangana. Appreciate your joining us, sir, on the show. I'm asking you that straight question, Mr. Venkataswamy. Who will be accountable for the loss of 40 lives? A factory like this, without having the necessary safety procedures in place, without having a fire no objection certificate, is allowed to function. There is an explosion, 40 people die. Who is accountable, sir?
Actually, hi Rajdeep, Vivek here. I did visit the plant yesterday and again the Chief Minister also visited because the death tolls were increasing and right now officially there are about 38 deaths in the explosion. Now, when I went to the factory, the first thing I asked was there an inspector's inspection that had taken place, which is a regular norm. So in December 2024, the factory inspector had visited the factory and issued some guidelines on how to maintain safety in the factory. But Rajdeep, please try to understand that this is a chemical factory. This microcrystalline cellulose, which is combustible dust. And I think there were some issues in the spray dryers where the pressure built up and being a combustible product, static electric charge or something would have created this explosion. So here from the Factories Act point of view, or an inspector of factories point of view,
sir,
he went, he just checked.
Sir, you are claiming that there were checks done last year, but what we have found out that Sigachi Industries Private Limited has been found to have multiple compliance violations, neglecting safety protocols, exceeding working hour limits, lack of protective gear for the workers, factory operated without a fire department NOC, the safety department essentials were not there. There were warnings from workers about aging machinery, potential hazards. I mean, all the more because of what you say, that this factory was dealing with extremely hazardous chemicals, all the more that they should have even greater safety protocols in place. You see, that's the question.
Right.
If this was happening in the heart of Hyderabad, there would be far greater outrage. Because it's not in the heart of the city, the fact is that people seem to get away. 40 people have died, sir.
I agree with you. That's why the department did raise these issues. They brought it to the notice of the promoters and the occupier of the factory building. And this is a big lesson for the government also, because I feel when I went there onto the spot yesterday, I realized that engaging daily rated workers in these red category industries on the machine is definitely not allowed. And I've just told our Secretary Labour that a new law needs to be introduced where only trained company officials can deal with certain...
Sir, but is it about law? You know very well, is it about law or implementation? The fact is that, we have laws, some of them are archaic. Factories Act 1948, for example, you need new laws given the change. But when you don't observe basic safety for workers, then it's not about the law not being there, it is about not ensuring adequate implementation. Workers get exploited, sir. That's the charge that many workers are making there.
Yeah, Rajdeep, I agree with what you are saying, but please try to understand. In the recent past, generally the government has taken measures to see that the labor department's interference in the working of factories is minimized. If you see, these are the central laws which were introduced to see that business becomes more robust and more employment is created. So here, from the factory inspector's point of view, from the State Department, I think whatever measures were needed to taken and caution the industry, they have done it. It's actually basically the responsibility of the management, which I
So
did
what will you
mention
do? So what happens to the management? You're right, it is the responsibility of the management. Now they've been found wanting. What will you do? 40 people have lost their lives. What will the government of Telangana do?
See, we have instituted a committee now, a 5-member committee of eminent scientists to find out what was the reason for this blast. So one way, one committee is taking care of the legal aspect onto how this kind of an accident has happened and how future safeguards need to be taken in the pharma industry. So this is one part of
What about the culpability of the management, sir? Culpability of the management. Will this, once the media scrutiny dies down, will the management get away yet again if they are seen to have violated safety codes?
Yeah, sure. The government will take necessary action if they are found guilty. So we are in the process. Yesterday, the Chief Minister, when he visited, he formed a 4-man committee of senior IS officers to investigate and give a report on what further action needed to be taken against the management. So both the inquiries are going side by side, and I'm sure as soon as we get adequate information and from the reports.
So if there is criminal negligence as prima facie there appears to be, will the factory owners be acted against?
Yeah, I think the factory occupiers' responsibility is that. So definitely government will initiate action if they are found guilty.
Okay, I'm going to leave it there, Mr. Vivek Venkataswamy, Minister of Labour and Employment. Clearly, this is a wake-up call, not just for what happened there in Telangana, but there are chemical factories across this country dealing with hazardous substances, and you do need workers to have full protection. Thank you very much for joining me here on the news today. Appreciate it. Okay.
Thank you, Raj.
Let's turn from what has happened in Telangana, that tragedy there, to what is going to be a continuing focus at 9 p.m. Wherever there is abuse of power, we will raise the questions. We did it with Odisha 2 days ago, where remember an additional municipal commissioner was dragged out of his office and beaten up by the goons of the local BJP corporator and supported by a BJP leader in Bhubaneswar. Now we are turning our attention to Himachal Pradesh, where remember that serious allegation of assault of a National Highways Authority of India officer has rocked the state's politics. An NHAI officer claims he was beaten by the Panchayati Raj Minister Anirudh Singh at a building collapse site in Shimla. The minister is denying the charges, instead has chosen to blame the officials for negligence and using foul language. Take a look at this report.
A shocking case of power abuse by a Neta in Himachal Pradesh. An official of the National Highways Authority of India has accused the state Panchayati Raj Minister Anirudh Singh of assaulting him and a colleague. According to the FIR filed at Dhali police station, based on the complaint by NHAI officer Achal Jindal, he was called by the Shimla rural SDM to a site where a house had collapsed. The house was near the highway where 4-lane work was going on. Jindal claims he assured the locals compensation as prescribed by the state government will be given. He adds that the occupants of the house were shifted to safety the previous day. Jindal claims Minister Anirudh Singh took him and another NHAI official, Yogesh Verma, to a room. There the minister and his supporters allegedly assaulted them.
Jindal alleges the minister had hit a earthen pot on his head, which led to bleeding. Yogesh, who tried to intervene, was also allegedly beaten up. Union Roads and Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari, in a message posted on X, called for action against the guilty. Minister Anirudh Singh broke his silence on Wednesday, accusing NHAI officials of nexus with contractors.
NHAI के अधिकारियों की जो मिली भगत से 30-30 मीटर एक्वायर्ड विथ से अंदर आ गए हैं, लोगों का घरों का नुकसान हो रहा है। हमारे केंद्रीय नेताओं को सोचने की ज़रूरत है। डेवलपमेंट के नाम पे जो ये लोगों का नुकसान हो रहा है, नेशनल डेवलपमेंट के नाम पे, ये बड़ा दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है।
A local resident, Nihal Thakur, has now filed an FIR against the NHAI officials alleging assault by them. The resident claims that the officers used foul language. He blames the NHAI for the building collapse and claims the villagers' complaints were ignored by the officials. The incident has sparked a political row.
मुख्यमंत्री के नियंत्रण में कुछ रहा नहीं है। ना पार्टी के लोग हैं जो उनके खिलाफ बोलते हैं, विधायक हैं, मंत्री हैं, सब बेलगाम हैं। कार्रवाई बनती है और निश्चित रूप से कार्रवाई बनती है और कार्रवाई ये बनती है तुरंत मंत्रिमंडल से बर्खास्त किया जाना चाहिए।
While 2 FIRs have been filed, the police have made no arrests so far in the case. Bureau Report, India Today.
Okay, let's go to one of my other newsmakers tonight. Anirudh Singh is that minister in the eye of the storm. Minister of Rural Development, Panchayati Raj, Himachal Pradesh. Appreciate your joining us, Anirudh Singh ji. I have read through the FIR. It clearly says, you, sir, assaulted a National Highways Authority of India official, Achal Jindal, another official, Yogesh. You took them into a room. You closed the door, you assaulted them, you threw a water pitcher, and they suffered injuries. How do you respond? As a minister, these are very, very serious allegations against you, sir.
Sir, in this incident, I would like to say that I will deny all the charges made against me by the said officials. But what the thing is, you have to go in background also. All the SDM, all the revenue officials were present out there. All the forest officials were present out there, and all the local people who are affected around 8 buildings which are about to fall, they were also present. So no such incident happened.
No such incident happened. I'm just playing the visuals, Mr. Minister, of the official who is in a hospital bed. You are saying to me today on the show that no incident happened, no assault took place. Please see some of the images, the injuries that the person has suffered and in hospital. And you are telling me on the show that there was no assault or you did not assault him, that all of this is faked?
No, in front of him, there was no assault.
No assault? Sir, you know, how can you say there was no assault? Why would a person fake this entire thing and blame you? I mean, all these bandages and the hospital scenes that we are playing out, is this all part of some conspiracy against you?
Yes. Now we will come to that point also. As I got the copy of his complaint through WhatsApp, many of the local people, they had sent me on my WhatsApp. I received the complaint that some allegations made about you. While inquiring this whole thing, I found out, and I would appreciate if you also make an investigation in the same. They were not even admitted to the hospital. They had given written to the SHO who was present in the hospital that they had not been assaulted by anyone. And after 1 hour, the SHO was called back to the hospital. I don't know have the full details why the SHO was called back after 1 hour to the hospital, and then again the complaint was written. You can inquire about that, sir.
Sir, we are inquiring, but I find it prima facie a bit strange to say this entire story is being cooked up by an NHAI official, that there was no assault, that you have nothing to do with the injuries that this person has suffered, that the complaint also is a fake complaint. All of this seems a bit strange. I mean, is this what you are claiming, that this is all very complete fake story?
Yes, sir, I am. And the second thing is, while thinking, why are they doing that? I think so because liability should be fixed on, sir. It is not a question of one building, sir. It is a question about from Parvanu to Shimla, the 4-lane, the work which has been in progress. I would come to that also. It is all illegal cutting. They have exceeded beyond their limits, the acquired limits. They have, and unscientific cuttings have been done. All the retaining walls are falling. You have seen in your news only, in your channels only, how people are suffering. The tourism department, the tourism has finished off in the whole Himachal Pradesh because of the NH, not even in district Shimla, but the whole state. Maybe it from Kiratpur to Manali, Jogindranagar Road, Dharamshala, Kangra Road. And I must, one more thing, sir, I have to say, with due respect, that the slope protection has not been done. They have unscientifically cut down the on 90-degree slope. They have cut the
Anirudh Singh,
slopes on 90 degree. And
Anirudh
it is
Singh,
really
if
tearing
there are
apart.
illegalities
People
in the
are
way,
complaining.
Sir, Anirudh Singh, if there are illegalities in the way in which these highways are being constructed in Himachal Pradesh, that's another matter. But for you to claim that this entire assault has been faked only to hide the illegalities seems a bit strange, because somebody has gone to the hospital, there are doctors who have checked this person, and you are today coming on the show and saying that this is all fake injuries only to hide this illegality. People are not going to believe you, Mr. Anirudh Singh, that someone is faking an injury in a government hospital only to embarrass you and hide their illegalities.
Sir, I deny all the charges, and I must say the detailed inquiry should be done in this, as officially saying such.
Tell me though, sir, do you have eyewitnesses? You are claiming this assault never happened. Do you have eyewitnesses who will show that either you were not present at the site or that no assault took place? I mean, that you were not involved. Can you throw even one such eyewitness to us?
Sir, this is not my work, sir. This is the agency's work to provide the witnesses and everything, sir. The agency, whosoever agency will conduct the inquiry of the FIR or the complaint made against me, they will conduct it. Why should I go and ask people that you say in favor of me?
Sir, let me ask you, if it is proven today that you are involved and you are assaulted him, will you step down as minister? Even Nitin Gadkari, the surface transport minister, has taken notice and has sent a letter to your chief minister asking for action. Will you, if it is proven that you assaulted an NHAI official, step down as Minister Anirudh Singh?
That's obviously I have to do it. But I must say that when I'm not involved and we believe in justice, so I request, I have requested the chief minister also to conduct an inquiry, detailed inquiry by the any agency they want, and find out the details and put it to public.
So are you open, therefore, am I clear that any agency, particularly a central agency, can do this report? Because many believe if it's a state agency, you will be protected. Are you telling me you are ready for any inquiry by any central agency, Surface Transport Union Ministry, for to prove whether you are guilty or not?
I have no objection, sir. In any agency.
Okay. You're open for an inquiry, because the worry is the new FIR is actually blaming the officer, saying the officer acted in an abusive manner. It almost seems as if the entire system is now trying to blame the official and give you a clean chit, sir.
We should not look at one side of the coin, sir. What the official has done or misbehaved with anyone, they have filed a complaint. So that inquiry should also be held. That's it.
My final question, Anirudh Singh ji, as I said, even Union Minister Gadkari has intervened, asked for a full inquiry. You will concede that many believe this is a clear abuse of power if this incident has happened. Are you going to tell me today that Nitin Gadkari also jumped the gun while suggesting that you are involved in the action? Are you, as I said, ready for an open inquiry, come what may?
No, I have already done a press conference at around 12:30 and told that I will apprise the Honorable Transport Minister about the same, because what he's being briefed is by only the NHAI officials.
So my final question, Anirudh Singh ji, this is a campaign we are going to launch against abuse of power by politicians. Politicians, sir, like it or not, have acquired, especially ministers, लाल बत्ती ministers, कि उनके पास सब ताकत है. वो कुछ भी कर सकते हैं, किसी ऑफिशियल को भी मार सकते हैं, nothing will happen. आप बड़े नेता हैं, आप किसी ऑफिशियल के साथ कुछ भी कर सकते हैं. You're saying that this is not the case. There is no abuse of power. You did not assault a person. You are continuously emphasizing that. Am I correct? You are not willing to accept responsibility.
Rajdeep ji, I would, with due respect, I would like to correct you. Just see my track record. I am in electoral politics since 20 years, and no such incident has ever happened. Not you can even talk to me. I am sure you have friends in the government also. You can ask anyone. I have a 20 years electoral politics record. Nobody can say we have even misbehaved with anyone, any public person, government servant, anyone.
So what I'm going to do is use this interview, because this is this we've got on camera now. At a possible future date, I'll get you back on the show once the inquiry is complete. And if it is proven that you have assaulted anyone and that what you told me about this being entirely fake is proven wrong, I hope that you will take responsibility in whatever way that a politician should. Today you are telling me once again this is complete fake news and you are ready for any inquiry. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Anirudh Singh, for joining me there from Himachal Pradesh. You're claiming this is fake news. We will wait and see what the inquiry reveals. Well, what is fake, certainly not at the moment, is Himachal Pradesh's climatic conditions. Year after year, the state is now witnessing increasing flash floods. Mandi in particular is reeling this year. Cloudbursts, flash floods and landslides tearing through the region. It's left once again destruction, despair, and dozens of people are missing. Aman Bhardwaj with tonight's ground report.
Mandi is in mourning. Over the last 72 hours, torrential rain and cloudbursts have left Himachal Pradesh reeling. But it is Mandi district, especially the Saraj region, that has seen the most devastating impact. Multiple cloudburst incidents have been reported from Mandi alone, triggering flash floods, landslides, and washing away entire stretches of life and livelihood. In Saraj's Tunag area, contact is completely cut off. Over 30 people are still missing. 10 bodies have been recovered, and early estimates say more than 400 homes and shops may have been damaged. The Kuklak Panchayat bridge, gone. The Buckley wooden bridge, damaged. Even the Thalaut tunnel entrance caved in under a landslide, bringing traffic on the Mandi-Pathankot highway to a standstill. The Pando Dam in Mandi recorded its highest discharge of the year at 1.57 lakh cusecs, raising alarm downstream.
We are at Oat Tunnel in a way to Kullu, and you see how big machines being placed to clear the landslide debris and also the big rocks that came down when it was raining here. And also you see the long queues up to 10 kilometers from here to Kullu side. They're waiting for their turn as the road gets clear so they can move towards Mandi side. So this is what the situation is on the ground.
नुकसान तो सर मेरा बहुत ज़्यादा हुआ है, गांव में भी बहुत नुकसान हुआ है. मेरी मतलब दुकान के साथ मेरे दो स्टोर थे, वो दोनों ही बह गए मतलब बरसात में. मतलब जो हमारे पैदल रास्ते थे, वो पैदल रास्ते भी बंद हो चुकी हैं इस वक्त.
Schools and colleges have been shut in affected zones, while IF choppers have been deployed to airdrop relief material in areas that have been cut off. Rescue teams are on the ground, but former Chief Minister and local MLA Jairam Thakur says the scale is unprecedented, calling this the biggest natural disaster Swaraj has ever faced and urging the state government to press in helicopters and more NDRF support.
पीछे 16 मेगावाट का पर्टिकुलर प्रोजेक्ट था, उसका नामो निशान नहीं रह गया। जहाँ सामने पुल था, इस सारी वैली को कनेक्ट करने के लिए एकमात्र जरिया वही था और वो पुल बह करके चला गया, तबाह हो गया। 8 मकान सामने से थे और लगभग 6 एकड़ मकान इस तरफ थे, उनका कोई नामो निशान नहीं रह गया। लेकिन सिर्फ गनीमत इतनी है कि यहाँ लोगों को समय पर इवैक्यूएट कर दिया था, निकाल दिया था ताकि उनकी जिंदगी बच सके। पशुधन का नुकसान फिर भी उसके बावजूद भी हुआ।
Chief Minister Sukhvinder Singh Sukkhu has promised rapid restoration of roads, power and water. But time and patience is running out for those in the eye of nature's fury. As Himachal deals with the havoc caused by the monsoon, the human cost continues to unfold. One landslide, one missing person at a time. With Aman Bhardwaj in Mandi, Bureau Report, India Today.
Okay, let me turn from there to our special focus today. The worrying spike in deaths due to heart attacks in Karnataka's Hassan district has now triggered a major controversy. The Congress led by Chief Minister Siddaramaiah claims the complications could be an after effect of the COVID-19 vaccines. Today, the centre and medical bodies stepped in and dismissed this claim, but the feud and that controversy over any link between heart attacks and the COVID vaccine continues to simmer, particularly on social media. What's the truth? In a moment, I'll be joined by 2 top doctors, but first take a look at this report.
20 deaths in a month, at least 4 in just one day alone. The horror of heart attack deaths in Hassan continues to make waves. But now, the issue has transcended health concerns and turned political as well. It began with Chief Minister Siddaramaiah hinting at complications caused by the COVID vaccine being a possible cause, thus laying the blame at the central government's vaccine policy, especially the vaccine's rapid approval and rollout. Health experts and leading research bodies have now emphatically refuted this claim. The Health Ministry has cited a study by the Indian Council of Medical Research which shows no link between COVID-19 vaccines and the sudden surge in heart-related deaths. It has blamed genetics, sedentary lifestyle and pre-existing conditions for the cardiovascular complications. Despite the Health Ministry's rebuttal, the Congress sticks to its guns, claiming issues with vaccines have been seen across the globe.
Throughout the world and India, today if you see any professionals, if you meet any of the medical specialists, they would say there is a reason is because of this COVID vaccines. ICMR had to, they have to substitute, no? They have to tell what is the reason then. Then what is the reason for? In one district, so many people are facing this heart attack. Throughout India and throughout Karnataka, there so many people are facing, especially middle-aged and young people. Then what is the reason for them? They have to come up with, no?
Countering the charges, the BJP has claimed that the deaths are a reflection of poor health facilities in the state.
Siddaramaiah is not a medical expert. Link the death of the people in Hassan to COVID. His only aim is to divert the whole issue, which is always does that. Divert the whole issue. It is his incumbent duty. The health system in Karnataka has collapsed. There are no medicines, timely medicines for critical illness.
Whether they are caused by stress, lifestyle, post-COVID complications or something more systematic, the heart-related deaths in Hassan stand as a wake-up call for Karnataka. Bureau Report, India Today.
Joining me now on that big subject, Dr. Kunal Sarkar, Senior Vice Chairman, Director and Head of Cardiac Surgery at Medica Super Specialty Hospital in Kolkata, one of the country's leading cardiologists, and Dr. Subramaniam Swaminathan, Director, Infectious Diseases and Infectious Control, Gleneagles Hospital in Chennai. I appreciate both of you joining me here on the show tonight. I just want to, before I come to both of you, play this graphic out about heart attacks before and after COVID, because that really might shed more light just purely in terms of data. Now, before COVID, in 2017, 23,246 deaths of heart attacks. 2018, 25,764. 2019, 28,005. These are all reported deaths. After COVID, 2020 went up to 28,579. 2021, 28,413. 2022, 32,457. Source being the NCRB here. Dr. Sarkar, when you look at those numbers, do you see any connection that post-COVID vaccine, people are more vulnerable to heart attacks, or is that simply myth-making?
Rajdeep, thank you for having us. Just 2 points to make. You see, India with a population of about 140 crores, what's happening at this point of time is basically that, you see, we have a daily mortality rate in this country of more than 40,000. So that is India's average mortality rate per day, of which 30 to 40,000 of our deaths per day is due to cardiac problems. Now, I'm just giving you a point in example that, you see, some of this alert was sparked off recently from a few districts in Karnataka and all that. But, you know, it has been a worry. It has been a worry in the public domain for a country which has a high incidence of heart problems. We have our sort of an unequal access to healthcare. So all these problems put together with a high incidence, yes, our fatality rate from heart problems is comparatively higher. We have to accept it. Honestly speaking, the table of numbers doesn't make much sense because our annual case fatality rate from heart problems would be much higher, because much higher than that. Now, what has happened basically is COVID in itself definitely caused higher death rate from cardiac problems, especially during the second wave when we had the Delta variant. There is no authenticated data to support the fact that COVID vaccination, which has to be set aside from COVID itself, that COVID vaccination by itself caused more heart attacks. Now that has been a fear. Why has that been a fear? Because certain vaccines, like the mRNA vaccines, which we did not have, caused an inflammation called carditis, myocarditis. And the vaccine that we had in plenty called Covishield caused in very few cases a clotting disorder in the brain, which was called, cerebral venous thrombosis, etc. But hardly less than 10 cases were recorded worldwide. So to cut a long story short, India as it is has a punishing incidence of cardiac problem with a higher rate of cardiac mortality. During COVID, the numbers were even worse because COVID, especially the second wave per se, caused more cardiac problems. But did COVID vaccination, did it at all cause, or is it still causing silently, sheepishly, is it causing higher cardiac death rates? We would have to keep our radar up, our eyes open, but very little data to support that.
Okay, so I think, at the very outset, here is one of India's leading cardiologists making it very clear that there is no correlation between the COVID vaccine per se and heart attacks. But yes, cardiac arrests in India are a major cause of death. Now, I want to come to you, therefore, Dr. Swaminathan, because you will be able to tell us in terms of this, again, in terms of this correlation being built, Dr. Subramanian Swaminathan, between the vaccine and heart attacks. Is this typically example of alarmist reporting that there are deaths in Hassan district in Karnataka of heart attack, and suddenly people try and draw, including the Chief Minister of Karnataka, some kind of link between the vaccine and heart attacks?
This is an example of trying to make a simplistic judgment in a situation where it is a multifactorial problem. We know diabetes capital is India. We know that we are more prone to cardiac disease. That's been clearly explained. We have more cholesterol issues, more hypertension, so many other things. Add to this keg, which is really volatile. the respiratory viral infections. Not just COVID, influenza and many other respiratory viral infections are known to trigger cardiac events. Heart failure and heart attack can be significantly higher, up to 10 times higher after a flu infection. And this has been well proven with very beautiful quality data. And that's why we talk about annual vaccination for flu and things like that to protect yourself. And studies are showing the cardiac benefit of some of these vaccines. So the point is that we are underestimating how dangerous from a cardiac point of view some of these respiratory viral infections are. That's the first point. The second point is there is a large study which has shown that in patients who already had a heart attack, getting the flu vaccine actually reduced the risk of death. Now that's an amazing study. So there are data that are coming
say
out
that again to
vaccines
us.
actually
No,
prevent-
say that again to our viewers so that you emphasize that point.
Okay, so this paper came out in 2021. It is the highest quality study, what we call a randomized double-blind placebo-controlled trial, where nobody knows what they got. One group got the flu vaccine, the other group got just plain water. And all of these patients had a recent heart attack, and they followed them up for 1 year. At the end of 1 year, the chance of people dying was looked at. There was a 40% reduction in the risk of death in people who got the flu vaccine. Now, this is the highest quality data as far as trials is concerned, and cardiac deaths were clearly shown to be less. Now, there's more and more data coming out that preventing respiratory viral infections is actually not just good for your lungs, it's probably good for your heart as well. So vaccination actually serves to protect you from really bad cardiac events, and it's not the other way around. Yes, there can be minor issues, like has been pointed out, with the mRNA vaccine, we have seen myocarditis, which has not been a big problem with the whole vaccine, which is Covaxin, or the adenovirus vector vaccine, which is Covishield. And the thrombotic events are actually very, very rare. I have seen one patient like that, but these are extremely rare.
Right.
Overall, if you look at it, the benefit is far outweighing the risk.
Benefits far outweighing the risks of taking vaccines is what you're saying. The study by ICMR, which we've also highlighted earlier, the National Institute of Epidemiology, says no evidence of link between vaccine and heart attack. India's vaccine safe, extremely rare instances of serious side effects. Sudden deaths can occur because of genetics, lifestyle, pre-existing conditions, and post-COVID complications. That's what is being suggested. Interestingly though, a nationwide Swedish study last year in 2024 shows over 80 lakh adults examined. They found rare but increased risk of myocarditis and pericarditis, particularly in young males after mRNA vaccines. Risk highest after the second dose. No significant increase though in heart attacks or cardiac arrest. Full vaccination reduced the risk of severe COVID-linked cardiovascular outcomes. Dr. Sarkar, you want to make sense of that for us? Are we actually not looking at the real issue, which is lifestyle, genetics, as the primary reason for heart attacks rather than suddenly pointing a finger at vaccines? The worry is that a lot of people between the age of 40, 45, high profile, have suddenly had heart attacks, and that has led to this alarm.
A couple of points, Rajdeep. You see, first of all, number one is, you see, why there is always sort of whispers and murmuring about the COVID vaccine business in India. It's worldwide, and probably in India a little bit more so, is we did not do a very efficient job of recording the vaccine side effects. It was highly criticized that unlike other health systems which are a little bit more systematic and organized than ours, we did a brilliant job. More than 200 crore vaccines were given by India, a record by any standards. But did we follow it up by recording the side effects of vaccines adequately? Sadly, we did not. That was one deficiency, and that leaves a little bit of ground for discontent here and there. Second point is, what Dr. Subramanian was referring to so correctly is correction of other problems. Now, you see, if you consider especially the onslaught of COVID, 60 to 70% of India's disease burden and mortality came from the second wave. And the second wave had rampant use of steroids. Now, in a population where more than 20% of population is already standing to be diabetic. What did profuse steroid use do to the diabetic profile of Indians? Now, we are not sure about this as of yet. We would certainly request bodies like the ICMR. The ICMR study was extremely good about the side effect, their observations about the vaccine. But the ICMR and the other bodies should do a current state about prevalence of diabetes and how well are we controlling diabetes.
Right.
This needs to be looked at pretty soon. And I could not agree with Dr. Subramaniam and others that flu vaccine and other respiratory vaccines, that has to be made because, look, a part of India is also aging. We have more people beyond 55, beyond 60. So getting to know our diabetic profile better, recording the effects and side effects more efficiently, and safeguarding the people from all these seasonal outbreaks would be really important at this stage.
Okay. I think the message, though, from the doctors is very clear. Don't be alarmist. Let the data speak for itself. Let there be more rigorous data, particularly on the side effects. And Dr. Subramaniam, you want to give me a final word on that? What would you therefore advise people who today are panicking? What's that message that you would give those who are panicking, worrying whether there is any connection, especially in that 40 to 50 age group?
India is a hotbed for really bad cardiac disease because of our lifestyle and our genetics. So I think everybody should focus on the basics. Make sure your blood sugar is under control, blood pressure is under control, your diet is good, have some daily physical activity, look at your cholesterol, look at your family history, quit smoking, quit alcohol, make a change for the better, and also see your doctor periodically and make sure you have an annual health checkup and be on top of everything else. And if you're vulnerable, make sure you get additional protection in the form of vaccination and other measures. That's probably the best thing you can do to keep yourself and your family, for that matter, very safe.
Okay. I think both of you, in a sense, have ensured that those alarm bells will hopefully ring a little less. Change your lifestyle. I have to do that myself as well. I'm worried about my high cholesterol and therefore I'm making certain lifestyle changes, and I believe so should you. Dr. Sarkar, Dr. Swaminathan, for really giving us a little bit more light amidst all the heat. I appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Let's turn now to tonight's Get Real India story. 18 crores, 15 days. A road gets swallowed up in the rain. That's right, this has happened in Gwalior in Madhya Pradesh. A newly built stretch near the Scindia Palace in Gwalior has caved in, raising serious questions yet again of corruption in construction and, of course, accountability. A truck is stuck, the public is furious. The collector has finally stepped in. What went wrong? Get Real India.
This road in Gwalior near the Scindia Palace is brand new. But in the 15 days it has been open to public, the road has seen many cave-ins. Some craters are so big, even trucks get stuck in them.
तो स्टॉर्म वाटर ड्रेनेज का वर्क लगभग आप अभी देखें तो ऑलमोस्ट 2 महीने पहले ही वो कंप्लीट हुआ है और कंप्लीट होने के बाद में उसको जो सेटलिंग टाइम मिलना था, संभवतः ऐसा प्रतीत हो रहा है कि आने वाले बारिश को सीज़न को देख करके निगम ने उसमें रोड जल्दी बनवाने का कार्य किया। लेकिन इसमें किसी प्रकार का कोई टेक्निकल मेजर फॉल्ट ना हो, मटीरियल सबस्टैंडर्ड यूज़ ना हुआ हो, डिज़ाइनिंग में कोई प्रॉब्लम ना हो, इसके तहत मैंने एक इंक्वायरी इंस्टेट करी है और जल्द ही हमको उसकी रिपोर्ट भी मिल जाएगी।
The storm water drain and road project cost 18 crore rupees, with 4 crores spent on the road. All that money has evidently gone down the drain.
सड़क का निर्माण सही नहीं हो रहा, जांच पड़ताल नहीं होती है, इसका वो नहीं हुआ, जो रोलर वगैरह ढंग से चलने चाहिए थे वो नहीं चले, अगर वो चलते तो यह नहीं दसकती। लगातार 3-4 बार देख चुके हैं, 3-4 जगह दसकती है और पूरे शहर की यही स्थिति है रोडों।
The 2-member technical team has been given 5 days to submit a report.
And it's not only exposes the poor quality of construction, but also raises big question on corruption and accountability. With Hemant from Gwalior, this is Ravish Pal Singh for India Today.
Road construction and accountability. One of the many Get Real India stories that we bring you. Just about enough time then to leave you with our image of the day. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is traveling again. He's now in Ghana, the first Indian Prime Minister in 30 years to visit the West African country. The Prime Minister received a full ceremonial welcome. He was welcomed by Ghana's President John Mahama, a guard of honor, along with a 21-gun salute presented to the Prime Minister. Let's not forget, Ghana as a country with India had strong relations. The Nehru-Nkrumah relationship way back in the 1950s. Today, Ghana is one of West Africa's fastest growing economies. Prime Minister in Ghana is our image of the day. हमें गाना नहीं है, हमें जाना है. Thanks for watching. Stay well, stay safe. Good night. Jai Hind, Shubh Ratri, Namaskar.